while I'm having my breakfast, which is 2 slices of bacon and a jumbo cup of coffee, I just want to say Kirk Cameron pisses me off. He pisses the majority of atheists, agnostics, and religious people off. More so Christians and anybody who's religious of any religion. Doesn't matter what religion you are. Doesn't matter what religion you are. Most likely Kirk Cameron pisses you off. Especially Christians. There's a lot of Christians that ask Kirk Cameron to please shut the fuck up, because he makes Christians and Christianity sound vile and a vicious religion. Atheists don't do that, Kirk Cameron does. So let's hear what this asshole has to say on abortion. This is an interview that he did with Piers Morgan back in 2012.
Your value system, my value system, we're all going to pick a standard against which we judge behavior morally. All of our laws, ultimately at their core, are going to be based on a moral evaluation.
What's your view of abortion?
I think that it's wrong.
Under any circumstances?
Under any circumstances.
Even rape and incest?
I think that someone who is ultimately willing to murder a child, even to fix another tragic and devastating situation, like rape or incest or things like that, is not taking the moral high road. I think that we're compounding the problem by also murdering a little child.
Could you honestly look a daughter in the eye if she was raped and say, you have got to have that child?
Yes, and I will
you
help
would do
you.
That?
Yes, of course.
I find that amazing. People would say that.
Oh, but because I love my daughter, I love that little child. This is a little creature made in God's image. Perhaps, imagine if you were the result of that and you had been aborted, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. And so I value life above all things.
You only document.
Holy shit! Kirk Cameron has the balls to look his daughter in the eye if she was raped and say, you have to carry that child because it was made in God's image.
Oh, he's like that.
Holy shit! Now, okay, I won't. This is why the majority of religious people, more so evangelical Christians, ask him to shut up, because he makes Christianity sound like a vile and vicious religion. But Kirk Cameron should know that if a woman's raped, it doesn't matter if it was his daughter or any other woman, if a woman was raped, why would she want to have a child who looks remotely like the rapist who raped her? She wouldn't. And if there is any woman out there who agrees with Kirk Cameron, I don't know what to say to you. I honestly don't. Because that's so immoral to have a child that looks like the person who raped you. I mean, I'm a guy, but if I were a girl, if I were a young woman and I was raped, and I would not want to have a child that looks remotely like the person who raped me. That's just, I'm sorry if my common sense is kicking in, but another thing that I don't get with what he said is, why would anybody, on any circumstances, want to have a child from incest? True story. Mackenzie Phillips, if you don't know who Mackenzie Phillips is, she is the daughter of John Phillips, if you don't know who John Phillips is. He is one of the singers of the Mamas and Papas. He normally wears the Russian hats, like the Russian Alaskan mountain man hats. But anyway, Mackenzie Phillips did an interview with Larry King back in 2008. And Mackenzie Phillips put out a book that year. It was her own autobiography. And in that autobiography, Mackenzie Phillips said that her father and her committed incest several times, and after she got an abortion because she thought it was his child, the incest stopped. Now, okay. Now, just common sense question, Kirk. I praise Jesus too much, Cameron. If you were Mackenzie Phillips, wouldn't it be a little creepy to have a child that looks exactly like your father? Now, I'm just saying. Point being, point being is, Kirk Cameron is such a major asshole that the man can see between delusionalhood and reality. And what I mean by delusionalhood, he thinks everything is God's will. I mean, that's fine if he was just a regular evangelical Christian who went to church every Sunday, did silent do-good deeds. That would be fine. Nobody would have a problem with him. But what people do have a problem with him is that he goes spewing that kind of shit and thinking, oh, it's fine if a woman's raped and has a child. That was created in God's image. Wrong. If he still has the idea that babies are made in God's image, think again. It takes two to tango, and it takes XY chromosomes to make genetic genes for a child. And just another thing, when sperm meets the egg, it's not life, it's goo. And when that's aborted, it becomes stem cell research, and Kirk Cameron is the type of person who says, fuck you, Michael J. Fox, this is going to be a child. So anybody with Parkinson's disease, those aborted fetuses, they're not dead children. They never are children. They're goo, which is kind of like a tadpole, and in some way, it's stem cells. It helps people with cancer, Parkinson's, etc. Alzheimer's. This is another one that they found in the past couple of years that stem cell helps. The point being, aborted fetuses equals stem cell research. And it's people like Kirk Cameron that can't accept people with Parkinson's, cancer, or Alzheimer's disease because they use aborted fetuses. So if every woman who was raped had a child of the rapist, think of how many people with Parkinson's, cancer, and Alzheimer's would not get the stem cell research they need. Think about how Michael J. Fox would not be able to even use his arms and legs, and because Parkinson's can paralyze permanently the muscles. Over a long time untreated, it can paralyze the muscles. It's a terrible disease, so is Alzheimer's. So think of an Alzheimer's patient without stem cell research. They don't know where they are, they're pretty much dying, and they have no idea who their family is. They have no idea who they are. They have no idea where they are. It's not only scary, but it's a terrible mental disorder that affects the brain. It eats away at the brain. So Kirk Cameron has no sense of humanity whatsoever. If he did have a sense of humanity, he says, I don't think abortion is right if a woman feels the need to have sex and then decide that she doesn't want the child, although that would be her choice. But I do think it is acceptable if a woman is raped or a woman is impregnated by her father, brother, or even cousin. He could have said that, and that could have been an answer that would not stir up this much reaction from me. See you guys.